Good afternoon, everybody. You can hear me? Perfect. So, I'm Puja, Chandna, and I have my co-author here with me, Vandana, Satsangi, and together we are going to tell you a story of transformation. And it is really a transformation because we took a brand from where it was to another level, and the theme today is the power of and. We don't have an agency partner here because there were a lot of collaborators with us, and I would like to call upon a few of them. So, Nielsen Retail Audit for showing us what a kind of decline we were in. For Household Panel team to tell us, what were our lapses doing and saying. They designed a one-of-a-kind telephonic survey for us. For Basis Restager team for telling us you are not green the first time over and pushing us to really work on our proposition and make it tighter. For the Third Eye team to really go multiple levels below what the surface issue was and really help us craft a very, very tight communication. For the Ipsos team to work on the product with us and don't just tell us, this is where the product is. For doing a graphical modeling with us and telling us what were the key drivers that we were missing out on. And for the Kantar Link team to really work with us, even with the top right green ad, to say how could we further improve upon. So to tell you this story and this story of and, it's not just one agency that we've partnered with, I will call upon my colleague Vandana to take you through this journey.
So let me bring a story to you. Once upon a time, brand Chocos, a category leader in the cereal space, was a go-to cereal brand for kids. But times was changing. Newer brands were coming up with sharper proposition. Some were owning health, talking about no nasties, better nutrition, multigrain, while some were owning taste, crunchier, new exciting flavors, textures, and fun formats. We were losing on both the fronts. Kids losing out because of taste, and mothers questioning our health credentials. On top of it, certain de-influencers were amplifying the health skepticism in the category. Chocos was losing relevance. It was losing both craving and credibility. We had to reimagine the brand from ground up. Pack, product, positioning, proposition, all of it. We laid out 4 clear objectives. Why are our consumers lapsing from the brand? What are the emotional and functional territories that the competitors are claiming on? Can health and taste go together without compromise? And can we target our end user, the kid, and the shopper or the gatekeeper, the mother, together? It was not about choosing any of them, but about solving all of them. Hence, for this multi-dimensional problem, we created a multi-model approach. We combined the analytical thinking and human empathy to create a learning loop, where each step fed on to the next, and we could learn and test throughout the process. And that's how the power of ANT came alive for us. Now, in the next few slides, I'm going to talk about what exactly we did in the process. As a first step, we decoded every cereal on the shelf. We created a product scape, reading every product horizontally and vertically to take out the winning attributes and the need spaces where we could learn from. One of our core hypotheses, can health deliver taste, became clear very early on. Next up, we turned on to the digital world. We did social scraping, not for the noise, but for the nuance. We read conversations, influencer chatter, and emerging anxieties in the category to hear the mother's narrative. We had 2 objectives. We wanted to quantify the health skepticism to see what we were up against, and also understand the narratives that people were resonating with, which we can authentically solve. One of the key learnings we got from this step was that the absence of baddies was as important and sometimes more important for the mothers than the presence of good things. No maida was seeded from here. The third step, and it's one of my favorite piece of work, is one of the boldest immersion exercise that we did on the brand. We went ahead, face-to-face, met in one day 100 lapsers of the brand. We wanted to combine the structured mapping and the rigor that a quantitative study brings and combine it with the human empathy and the conversation understanding that a call brings together to create this hybrid call and quant sprint. What it did was, it helps us unlock that it was a dual erosion. And we had to solve for taste and trust, delight and reassurance. Now as a next step, we also thought, hey, let's go back and remind some of our older studies to see that some of the concept that was tested before might still be relevant today. And some of these dormant insights actually became the fundamental blocks for all our researches going forward. The multigrain, making the food multigrain, seeded from here. After learning from the LABSA study and the older concepts, we went and did ethnographic calls with kids and mothers, partnering with Third Eye. We went inside the consumer homes, sat at their dining tables to understand their breakfast choices and decode their decision dynamics, and to understand what are the emotional drivers driving the same. We understood that today's millennial mom isn't a sole decision maker in the family, she's a co-creator of choice. She wants indulgence and intent and does not want to force her child for anything. There have been a transition from kuch to khaya to kya khaya, meaning the quantity that my child should eat something to quality that what exactly is my child eating. And this actually reshaped our creative strategy, that it's not a mother versus child or nutrition versus taste narrative, it's a unified and narrative. Now, we believe that the product, that good is not good enough, and we wanted to create a best-in-class product. So we created an agile testing, test and learn loop. And we did almost 7 to 8 rounds of such testing with consumers. With each test, with each round, we tested, learned, reformulated and retested it again. In the process, we removed multigrain and made the, we removed no maida and made the food multigrain. We improved the nutrition and added a chocolatey delight. So we were not just testing what was working, we were building it with the consumer, what could potentially win. The picture that you see here actually tells a beautiful story of how R&D, marketing, insight all collaborated together to create a best-in-class product. And the test results showed it. In the final larger quant, our product won 3:1 in the market. Now, while product was evolving, packaging couldn't wait. And we created and we partnered with our in-house IT team to create an in-house shelf gauge tool. What it actually unlocked for us was evaluating some early pack prototypes and for visual breakthrough and findability very affordably and rapidly. And again, in the final larger quant, 75% of the consumer preferred our new packaging over the current one. Lastly, coming on to the comms piece. Now, historically, the brand has always ran split messaging, fun for kids and reassurance for moms. But as we had unlocked in our proposition that it's a merging narrative, and the comms should also believe that. And with a lot of idea narration, script testing, call session, we jumped for the first time on the brand a unified ad narrative. We also did a very fun little activity with the kids. I'll just play the video. So we wanted to see kids in their natural setting and see their love for the brand, so we can take behavioral cues that we can finally input our communication. And if you haven't already, I would urge everybody to see the Choco's deal ad to see how these small nuances have really shown in the film. Over to you, Puja.
As I always say, frankly, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. All our efforts would be in vain if the behavioral and the salience metrics didn't move up. So if you see, we got a 200 bips increase in salience, we got a 50% uptick in Google searches. And frankly, penetration is always our JTBD. It is the main job that we want to do. So we added 827,000 households, which meant that our new trial percentage went up to 67%, which was what we were gunning for from the very beginning. This also meant that we got a market share increase of 375 bips, which meant that we were back on the track of growth, which we hadn't achieved since 2022, and it led to a double-digit growth. And the real victory, frankly, was where we really realized that the love for the brand was back. And what we really did was we did not make choices, we did it all. You know, we did not say we'll go with qual or quant. We said no, we need intuition, we also need hard data. We will not go with mums or kids because, you know, there's always this debate, and we realized, and there were these Gen Alpha moms who had come up earlier. I'm sure they'll realize that they want the kids to be happy, they want the health, and they don't want to compromise on either, and that's what we did. We said we'll give it all to them. We worked with massive speed, like the kind of things we've done in a very crunched time frame were crazy, but we did not compromise on the rigor. So it was it was about choosing all of them and finally winning the hearts of people, because that's what was our real win. Thank you.